So I've been playing this game Stray. You play as a cat roaming around this broken neon city. The original masters are long gone, but all the robots are still stuck running the exact same pointless loops. Sound familiar? It should. It feels exactly like living in the Philippines. Everyone hypes up Independence Day every year, but go look at what actually happened in 1946. The Americans packed up and left the local elites in charge. Those same 5-10 families have been running a monopoly on us ever since. We basically just pay rent to live in our own country. Every time the flag of who's in charge changed, we just ended up as one of the three things: a cheap local labor, the exported OFW, or the guy getting priced out of his own neighborhood. Modern slavery doesn't need to use physical chains. They don't need to use physical force anymore because they made clever updates. They just keep the local economy broken enough that you'll accept whatever terrible deal the market gives you. It's about having way fewer choices than you think. Spain owned us. The United States owned us. Japan owned us. The Spaniards brought physical chains, the polo y servicio, forced labor. They took our blood, our spices, and our timber to build their ships. And religion and tribute kept everyone in line. Then the Americans showed up and upgraded the system. If I recall it correctly, they bought us from Spain, right? And then they brought their mental chains. They built schools, sure, and they taught us English and consumer culture. We were educated just enough to be compliant low-cost laborers for their industries. Then came the Japanese occupation. Short, violent, pure brute force. It's a trick they don't teach you in Civica at Cultura, Ikasi, civics and culture, history. They don't teach you that colonization never ended. It just got better marketing, better branding. We kicked out the colonizers, quote unquote kicked out. Then we built our own versions of them. The independence in 1940s was just a management restructuring, realignment. You could say the foreign bosses handed the franchise straight to local political dynasties, oligarchs, the elite, and moved to private gated subdivisions. Yeah, the foreigners momentarily left, but the local oligarchs took over. It's just like taking over, one CEO taking over a toxic company, and you hope the next one improves everything. Yet it's still all the same, if not worse. I mean, why fix the country when you can run the same scheme on your own people? We are drowning in nepotism. If you've ever told yourself you just need to work harder here, hold that thought, brother. I mean, you could argue every generation of Filipinos worked harder than the one before it. I mean, you see, it's been normalized now having multiple jobs, multiple side income, side gigs, and then go check where the money went each time. The tax. Every cent of that wealth went straight into the pockets of the same people running the country. Poverty does the heavy lifting now. No need to put chains on you anymore. They just make sure the only way to feed your family is to leave or accept less. A broken local economy guarantees a steady supply of desperate workers willing to take lowball offers. I've been there. Maybe I'm still there. I don't know. Which brings us to the greatest branding job in Philippine history. Convincing a mother that leaving her kids for a couple of years, maybe a decade or more was patriotism, quote unquote patriotism. So your grandparents worked for landlords, your parents worked overseas, and you? Well, tell us in the comments, my fellow modern day wagey. What does your innie do to survive, and what does your outie do to thrive? I want to know. And of course, other guys and girls in this community wants to know. We celebrate OFWs as modern day heroes. Maybe we should ask why leaving became heroic in the first place. You want to know why our government will never fix the local economy? Because an impoverished Filipino willing to send dollars or dirhams is worth 10 times more to them than a stable Filipino staying home. Imagine explaining BPO jobs to someone from 1898. Business process outsourcing jobs. They'd probably think we've become free. But hey, at least we don't get whipped anymore. We just get micromanaged over a headset while a dashboard tracks every second we spend away from the keyboard. Cheap labor, remote work, geo-arbitrage. We call it global opportunity. And the global market calls it lower labor costs. We're praised for our English and because we're affordable. I'm going to be brutally honest, brother. I'm not outside of this. I'm the cheap line on somebody's invoice, and I take the deal every 2 weeks. I'm just a normie guy in Cebu, try to make a living. I work as a remote marketing writer for American companies. I work here in my room, in my boxers, and they pay me well by local standards. But if you decide to look up your salary, comparing it to the regular Joe over there, doing my exact job in the United States, wondering if how much he makes, well, hard pill to swallow. Brutal. The difference is brutal. Now, on the other side of this, I gotta admit, I'm actually incredibly lucky. I have a great boss. Honestly, a really good person who treats me and the rest of the team here in the Philippines really well. A rare breed. And yet another example of how luck plays a massive role in your life. So if you're watching this, boss, I appreciate you. Don't fire me. But on a macro level, the system itself relies on paying us a fraction of the cost. At least the old slavery was honest about the terms. The next colonizer won't arrive on ships. It'll probably arrive through your Wi-Fi. Welcome to the era of technological complications that may result in dystopian cyberpunk or Blade Runner vibe Philippines in the future. Paksirika, at iba pa. AI data centers, raw minerals being taken away, natural resources being destroyed. The new empires don't always want your country. Sometimes they just want your electricity, your minerals. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. Take it all from us, y'all. Yes, suck us dry. Won't be the first time. Foreign tech companies found the loophole. They hire us for pennies to do the dirty work of training their AI, and when the hardware rots, they dump the toxic waste on our land. But wait, it gets better. No, they're coming here to build massive AI data centers. Why here? Why? Because citizens in their own countries are literally protesting in the streets. They know these data centers drain millions of gallons of local water and hijack the power grid. So instead of destroying their own backyards, they outsource the environmental damage to us. We get the heat, the rolling blackouts, the drained resources. And of course, they get their shiny new AI toys. And some CEO in Silicon Valley gets to buy another yacht. A data center doesn't need you. It needs your power grid, your water, your minerals, and a government that won't ask questions. Locals absorb the environmental ruin and pay higher electrical bills, among, of course, other possible damages, both expected and unexpected. So just get ready, y'all. Get ready. You, your family, your kids, your grandkids. And it's not just the digital space. Look at real estate. Look at all those places where foreign capital just sweeps in and buys up the paradise. Look at those slowly occupying places like Siargao and soft launching it as if it's their own. I'll just leave it at that. I cannot elaborate. If you know, you know. And by the way, I am in good physical and mental health. I have no urge to self-delete. So if something happens to me, well, if you know, you know. This is why we have the gig economy. This is why everyone is desperate. It's why we have this massive attention economy. And honestly, I cannot blame these cringe Facebook vloggers doing stupid pranks and other ridiculous stuff in public to make noise online. As annoying as they are, they're just trying to survive a rigged game. Like me, like you. They just want to earn extra money because the traditional system is designed to keep them broke. Can't knock the hustle. You don't need chains if people cannot afford to stop working. So what does this mean if you're a Filipino living here in the Philippines in your prime years, wasting your prime years working for the elites right now? How do you protect yourself individually when the macro system is entirely rigged against you? To be honest, I don't have a clear answer for this. It's beyond my pay grade. It's like the Punisher going against Jean Grey. I'm just some street anti-hero with no superpowers. But here's my tiny contribution in this tiny space we have. First, you stop believing the romanticized BS. You accept the reality of the board you are playing on. Second, you become indispensable. Don't be just any cheap labor. If you're going to play the Geoarbitrage game, be so undeniably good at what you do that you can command higher rates. Be the strategist, not just a R2R person. There's this Cal Newport book titled So Good You Can't Ignore You. You don't have to read the book, just read the title. Be so good that they cannot ignore you. And finally, you guard your mental space and your resources. Upskill, learn how to invest, learn how to pivot. You stop expecting the government or the elite to save you. Have some contingency plans. Because the elites, the government won't save you. You're the only one who can cut your own strings. This is Uncle Rem. Thank you so much for listening. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How are you doing, my fellow slave wagee? Stay sharp out there, mentally and physically. Have a good day.